Hello, Fayette Virtual Academy. My name is Jason Thompson, and I serve as your state court judge. I just want to say thank you for asking me to be part of your class today. I'm coming to you from courtroom 2D. It is one of the courtrooms we have here at the Fayette County Justice Center, and I just want to show you around the courtroom. This is what the courtroom looks like and where I work every day. And this is my area where I'm going to be presiding over cases and answering your questions today. So the first question is, what do you not like about being a judge? I'll say the hardest part about being a judge is having to put somebody in jail. You see, when somebody goes to jail, it has an impact not just on their lives, but also their family, because it might be somebody's father, somebody's mother, somebody's aunt, somebody's uncle, somebody's child. So I have to think very carefully before putting somebody in jail. And when we put somebody in jail, it costs us as taxpayers money to keep them in jail. And we're taking them away from their jobs. So we try to find ways not to put somebody in jail, but sometimes that is the punishment that is required in a certain case. This is a very good question. Are kids allowed in the courtroom? They are. In fact, I welcome kids to come into the courtroom to watch and observe for class. I invite students of all ages to do it. However, sometimes the content that we talk about in the courtroom is not really appropriate for kids. Sometimes I have to read language that somebody spoke, and it's not something I want kids to hear. So in those instances, I actually tell the kids, I want you to leave the courtroom, or I tell parents to take their kids out of the courtroom. Now, if a kid is in the courtroom and maybe they're a baby, they're real little, and they start to scream or they're making some type of noise that is interrupting the courtroom, what I do is I just ask the mom or the dad and the child to step outside, and when we call their case, we'll ask them to come back in, because it's very important that there be quiet in the courtroom so the court reporter can type everything down that I say, and we record everything. So kids are allowed, they are welcome. I love to have them here. I love to have visitors, but we just need to make sure that while they're in the courtroom, that everybody is well behaved. Is it always serious in the court, or can it be fun? Well, usually we're dealing with some very serious business, because on our criminal cases, we're dealing with situations where people could go to jail. So we obviously take that very serious. But when we can, we do try to, be very polite to each other, very respectful to each other. And if the moment does call for it, we do have fun. While we don't tell jokes or we don't crack jokes here, we do try to make this an environment that people want to come to court, and they're not afraid to come to court. I want to say that we try to make it an inviting and a comfortable place for you to come so that you're not scared to go into the courtroom. Why did you want to be a judge? The reality is I did not want to be a judge. You see, after elementary school, middle school, and high school, I then went to college. After college, I then went to law school for 3 years. And then after graduating law school, I was a lawyer for a number of years. And that's all I wanted to do. I wanted to be a lawyer and go into the courtroom and argue. But when I was a lawyer, I was asked one day to go serve as a city court judge and preside over some cases. And I did. And when I went to go preside over those cases, I realized that there was an awesome responsibility to be a judge. And it was a very important case. In fact, the most important case in the world to the people in the courtroom that day. So I took it upon myself to learn more about being a judge. And then I looked for more opportunities to be a judge. Then I became an elected judge on a part-time basis. And then in 2013, Governor Deal appointed me to be the full-time state court judge. And I currently serve in that capacity today. What do you do in your chambers? Well, let me just show you quickly what it means when we have chambers. That's the office where I work. So if I go back through this door, this is the chambers. So this is where I report to work every morning, and it has pictures of my family. And this is my computer where I work. And that's where I respond to email and I review documents. So when I'm in my chambers, I'm not in the courtroom. I'm basically going over documents that need to be read. I'm returning emails. I'm doing a lot of paperwork, but most of my day is spent out here in the courtroom where I'm presiding over cases. I think we've answered that. Why did you want to be a judge? What was your favorite subject in school? I really did enjoy social studies. I loved learning to read about government and how we work together in the government process, the branches of the government, but I also did like math as well. I enjoyed that. And I enjoyed English classes, literature. And those have come in very handy as a judge because I actually do a lot of reading and writing as a judge. What's the hardest part of being a judge? It goes back to the original thing I said, where you have to make a decision almost every day on whether somebody is going to jail or not. What type of cases do you see in the courthouse? Well, I preside over generally two types of cases: civil cases and criminal cases. A civil case is where somebody sues somebody and they want some money. They think they have been wronged, whether it was a car wreck case, a breach of contract, or some type of other matter, and they want money from the other party. But most of the cases I see are criminal cases where somebody's been accused of a crime. What are your hobbies? I spend most of my time at the soccer field. So if you're at the soccer field, maybe I've seen you there because all three of my kids play soccer. They play for a local soccer club called AFC Lightning. I'm out there watching my kids play. I'm usually reffing soccer games as well. And I do enjoy watching movies as well. Do people stay in jail? They do. It also depends on how long their sentence is. Sometimes people stay in jail for just a little bit of time, but sometimes they stay in jail for much longer. The maximum amount of time somebody can stay in jail in Georgia is for the rest of their life if they do something really, really bad. Do you listen to the radio? And what do you listen to? I do. I listen to the radio all the time. And I don't listen to music as much as I listen to talk radio. They're talking about the news or current events, and I really do enjoy listening to that. And I believe that's all the questions that we have. Well, I just want to thank Fayette Virtual Academy for having me here and asking me to participate in this program. I know your school year is ending, but I hope to come visit you again next year, and I hope you have a great summer. If there's anything else I can do for you, just let me know.